How many more innocent American lives must be taken before we say enough?
On your Fast Track to 7 this morning, President Joe Biden makes an emotional plea in the wake of back-to-back mass shootings across the country. In a rare evening White House address, the president says he is asking Congress to restore an all-out ban on the sale of assault-style weapons, and says if that cannot be done, then to raise the age to buy them from 18 to 21. The president argues that the Second Amendment to the Constitution is not absolute and that the issue is not about taking away anyone's rights. It's about protecting children and families. He is calling for expanded gun background checks and more support for red flag laws to alert authorities about potentially dangerous individuals. The president's address came as another U.S. city struggles with gun violence. 3 people are dead after a shooting outside of a church in Ames, Iowa. Police say the dead include the shooter. A motive is not known at this time. That church had been holding an event involving college-age students. Also on your Fast Track, the motive behind the actions of the Tulsa, Oklahoma shooter is becoming more clear. Police say the gunman targeted a doctor who had treated him. The shooter blamed the doctor for the pain that he was experiencing. He then bought the AR-15 style rifle just 3 hours before using it in that shooting. The shooter died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound after taking 4 other lives. A Minnesota jury has convicted a man of murder in a shooting attack on a Twin Cities area medical clinic last year that killed 1 staff member and wounded 4 others. Gregory Ulrich was charged with murder, attempted murder, and other counts in the shooting in Buffalo. That's just northwest of Minneapolis. Investigators say Ulrich was addicted to opioids and angry that his supply had been cut off. Ulrich admitted to setting off bombs and opening fire inside of that Alina clinic back in February of 2021, killing a medical assistant and wounding 4 others. He testified that he committed the violence to bring attention to the struggles that he faced trying to get pain meds for his physical ailments. He is now due to be sentenced on June 17th. 6:52 on this Friday morning. Let's get a check of your Fast Track forecast with Lisa Green. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. It's a cold start to our first or third day of June here. We're looking at conditions that are going to be a little chilly this morning, but we've got beautiful sunshine, and it's that June sun that's going to warm things up rather quickly. If you're getting ready to step out the door right now, though, here's a look at our temperatures. 38 degrees in Fargo. It's only 37 in Grand Forks and 39 in Thief River Falls. Over into Bemidji, a little milder. We've had the sun around a little longer there this morning in the valley, at least. We're looking at 40 degrees, and it's 43 in Fergus Falls, Devil's Lake at 42. So a little cold here. We've got the clear skies, though, and so our temperatures are going to respond here pretty quickly to that sun today. And speaking of sunshine, should be a decent day at the pool, though not necessarily that pool time heat that we like to see. But we're looking at some numbers that'll be in the upper 60s to some low 70s, and the wind, this is a big one. Not as strong. We're looking at winds maybe up to about 20 miles per hour, but beyond that, a beautiful way to wind down the week.
I think a lot of people would say it's perfect weather. Get outside, do a little grilling, sit on the patio.
I think that's great, and it should be really nice tonight for that.
All right, loving that. Lisa, thank you. Now 6:54, fire has gutted an historic building at Fort Snelling in St. Paul, Minnesota. The building was part of a multi-million-dollar renovation process just completed. The fire happened at one of the old officers' buildings. That is one of 26 buildings being converted to veteran and low-income housing. 2 firefighters had minor hand burns from the melting tar that blew off the roof. Construction crews are going to try and continue restoration of the building because the shell is still intact. The family of Lucia Garcia is getting ready to say their final goodbyes to the victim of last month's shooting at Plaza Azteca. She died yesterday. Family members say a fundraiser planned in Perham, Minnesota later this month is still on. The pastor of St. Henry's Church in that town says they want to do anything they can to help the survivors. Garcia's 7-month-old baby, Dominique, was also shot but is expected to make a full recovery. That fundraiser is June 12th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at St. Henry's. The man who police say shot Garcia and her baby had a violent criminal history in both North Dakota and Minnesota. The day of that shooting, a warrant was out for Malik Gill's arrest related to a domestic assault involving Garcia. She also had a no-contact order in place against him. Experts say knowing the signs of domestic violence and the available resources can help victims of abuse.
some signs to look for is like controlling behaviors within relationships, not wanting to speak about their partner, maybe not having access to phones or basic needs, maybe not coming around as much or not wanting to speak about their current happenings in their life are some red flags we can look for.
Resources like the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center's 24/7 hotline and the National Domestic Violence Hotline are available on our VNL News app and at valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. A farmer from Ashley, North Dakota, who had been jailed in Ukraine since November, has now been released from custody, but he is still in that country. Kurt Groshans was arrested on charges that he plotted to assassinate Ukraine's agriculture minister, although Groshans' family says the charges were aimed at silencing his claims of corruption in Ukraine. Groshans moved to Ukraine in 2017, where his ancestors are from. His family says he invested money to get a farming operation up and running there. It's going to be a weekend of cleanup for a lot of people in Minnesota Lakes Country who were hit by storms earlier this week. The DNR has some do's and don'ts for dealing with tree damage. They say to use caution when approaching a damaged tree, and if there are downed power lines, stay back and call 911. You should remove trees if more than 50% of the trunk or live branches in the crown are damaged. Make sure that damaged trees are watered weekly if you are trying to help it survive. That will help them rebuild. But be careful, don't overwater. You should give it about 1 inch per week. What you'd want to do and don't do if you repair a broken branch or a fork off of a tree, you do not want to use tape, wire, or a bolt. The wound won't heal and the split will invite decay and weaken that tree. Also, do not apply paint or any dressing to the wound because those materials interfere with the natural process. And don't fertilize a stressed or a damaged tree. Fertilizer will trigger rapid growth, but it will be weak growth, and it will then deplete the tree's energy reserve that's needed to fully recover from that damage. Whether you like to reach for the traditional glaze or maybe pick an Oreo-filled or anything in between, everyone has something to celebrate on this National Donut Day. And celebrating this morning is the Valley Today's JC Dodd. She joins us live from a staple in the community, Sandy's Donuts out in West Fargo. Good morning, JC.
Good morning, Jordan. Yes, the sun is shining and the dough is rising here in West Fargo at Sandy's. We have a line out the door. People are ready to get their donuts for National Donut Day. I mean, you've been open for an hour and people have been all around trying to get their donuts. Now, talk to me. This is a 24/7 operation. Jeff is what you would call a donut doctor around here.
That works. Yeah, we have people here basically 24/7, whether it's people making donuts, cleaning up the place, or delivering donuts. There's always someone here.
Now, what do you think is the most popular donut order? What's your guess?
There's a lot of really popular ones. I'd probably go with glazed, but otherwise like a light chocolate iced or sour cream donuts are also really popular. But we have over 75 kinds, so there's a lot of popular ones.
That is the hardest thing about today, is choosing what do you pick with 75 types.
Definitely, that's a big question for every customer. They get amazed by seeing that wall of donuts.
It is absolutely crazy. Everyone is super excited. People are buzzing here at West Fargo, and you have 2 other locations. You're driving all the way up to Grand Forks to deliver, which you do every day.
Every day, yep.
Deliveries have been going since 2 a.m., so wake up, smell the donuts, because it is National Donut Day.
All right, yeah, good time. People still have time. Get out there, pick up their dozen donuts, bring them into work. You'll be everyone's favorite coworker today. Hint, hint, JC. Anyway, reporting live in West Fargo, JC Dodd. Thank you. He is one of the greatest musicians of all times, and now people can visit a giant mural of Prince in downtown Minneapolis. There it is. It's beautiful. It's 100 feet tall, and it points to 3 different times in his career. The music icon vetoed the idea of a statue to commemorate him, but he did agree to this massive mural, and he did this before his death in 2016. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. You can find us on the Fargo CW. Otherwise, have a great Friday, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.